in importance, well, actually everything's important, but a real vital element in this chain of vital elements that's going to make up our winter gear is our outer shell. Now, the outer shell is vitally important in high Sierra or dead winter cold, high cold weather, deep cold situations. And the reason is the shell is going to give you your protection against high winds. It's going to cut the high winds, and it's going to offer protection for your insulation layers. So your insulation layers are actually not dealing with wind. The winds press real cold in, so you want something that really cuts the wind well. In my case, I use North Face heavy-duty winter gear, and it's not insulated, but it is it's lined, and it's got all the gear snow protection stuff that's required to keep snow from moving into all the little folds and nooks and crannies and stuff. Now, in spring and fall, you can get away with the lighter gear, and I'm going to give you a little look at some lighter gear. Now, this is my heavy North Face mountain coat. It's a very heavy piece of gear. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to compare it with a medium weight North Face coat, which weighs less than half as much. It's got a hood rolled up here. Okay, I'll use this in spring and fall with good safety. It's no real problem. Alright, and it's got a very light liner. And then you got an example. I think, what is this? This is my old Eddie Bauer. This is an old lightweight. Now, this is a medium lightweight because it does have a liner, but the popular gear nowadays during the summer is like this Marmot 3-step pair of pants. No liner, the lightest material, well, not the lightest, but pretty light. Okay, so these are our seasonal transitions we're going through, and at a certain time in fall, the temperatures drop precipitously and winter conditions begin. At this point in time, it is the heavy-duty outer shell. You can't get away with less, so don't try. Now, that comes to an interesting point that I was trying to get to through the layering discussion, and that is what combination of these gear elements is going to keep you warm and dry. Now, the dry and the protected from the ice-piercing winds is going to be your heavy-duty shell here. Okay, so here's the minimum setup for me. Polypropylene long pants, polypropylene tank top, nylon pants. That's the basic. At the top of my pack, I'll have the long sleeve poly, I'll have a fleece coat, and then I'll have the shell right there. Okay, so let's say it starts a freezing rain. Hell, I'm going to put on a layer of insulation over my base layer and the shell's going on, I'm good to go. You know, what's the combination? What's the condition? What's it throwing at me? I should have everything from a bright sunny day down to, call it 0 degree temperature with a 20 degree wind, 30 below zero. I should be able to operate. Now, this is my body. This is my body heat. Now we got to go to our extensions, to our feet, to our hands, and our head. Most important to any backpacker is their feet. Having proper footwear, proper insulation, proper socks is vitally important for any trip, and especially so during midwinter conditions. Now, foot considerations during midwinter, I deal with in the boot section of my website, which I should have showed you when I was sitting in front of the screen there, but it's vitally important during midwinter because we're going to be wearing real big snowshoes. These snowshoes are going to be carrying us with a very heavy pack. This means there's going to be a lot of deflection forces that are going on here. So it's vitally important that you have boots that are sufficient to take these forces so your feet don't get screwed up. Now, I got a pair of Zamblin mountain boots, old classic leathers, extremely heavy leather, one-piece leather design, so they're, incredibly rigid. The standard test for a boot is flexure. Look at my boot video. It'll show you. These things are hardcore. Very nice boots. Next layer on the inside is I bring 2 sets of polypropylene liner socks. Now, I may not use them, but I want these in a little waterproof bag set up ready to go. I got heavy duty full wool socks, very insulated, very padded, very nice. Okay, now of vital importance too, excuse me, is having the gel pad in here. Now the gel pad is great for your feet, yada yada, you know, like impact, which is really important, don't get me wrong. It's wintertime. The snow is damn cold. This gel layer is going to keep your foot warm, okay? Real important for the gel layer during wintertime. Okay, now I got my gel layer, my inserts, I got my boot, I got my good thick socks. Everything gets wet. If it's warm, I'm hoping it'll be so cold that when I spit, it'll bounce off stuff I spit off it. That way my feet will stay dry, the insulation will work very well, and I won't have wet feet at the end of the day. But I'm not anticipating that. I'm always anticipating that in snow conditions, my feet are going to be wet at the end of the day. Nothing's waterproof. Remember that. Nothing's waterproof. So at the end of the day, when I stop, I've got to make camp. I'm making camp, and my feet are going to start freezing. As soon as I get done making camp, I'm moving into my insulation gear, my extra layering. I'm layering up big time. I also have to do that with my feet. So there's two stages to the footwear, your foot gear. And that's your in-camp stage. So when you're on the trail, and let's say your feet are wet, and you start getting cold, pull out your on-the-trail liner socks, okay? Now, when you get into camp, you've got your in-camp liner socks. And the reason for this is you don't want wet stuff. Once you get out of your trail boots, you do not want wet stuff at all. So you're going to switch to your nice dry liner socks, to your nice dry fleece socks, and your custom. You're going to love this when you're in 5 degrees below zero and you're sitting in a camp. I mean, it's nighttime, 16 hours, you know, and these things are wonderful. So I must suggest, I recommend, for your safety and comfort, that you have a good set of down booties for your after hiking pleasure. Got it? Hey, it's morning 2, Thursday, January 6th. I'm a couple of miles, not even a couple of miles above the South Upper Truckee Trailhead, and it was real cold last night. I'm adjusting to the cold much better, but let's see, I'm thirsty, but I don't want to drink water, but I'm forcing myself to drink. I'm not hungry at all. That dinner last night screwed my stomach up, and so I'm forcing myself to eat. Gotta drink. Okay, you gotta do it. There's no two ways about it. So I slept really well. I brought Mark Twain, Life on the Mississippi, and did a couple hours of reading. So I, was moving about in the sack, and I had something to do, and so everything was copacetic. It still hasn't hit 20 degrees here. I've had a slow morning, much quicker than. See, I'm getting used to the cold, and I'm operating better in the cold now. But it's still a slow morning. No big deal. So observe your body. Observe how your body's responding to the environment here, and make sure you compensate for that. If you don't compensate for that, these things are going to build up. So, like for instance, last night I wasn't really cold. About 3 or 4 in the morning, probably it got pretty cold, and maybe later, but it really got cold, and I was fine. And I still am 1 layer short. I didn't have all my layers on, but I could feel the cold. So watch everything, observe, see how you're responding to it, and see, how much layering you have left. So when things change during the day and the night, observe what level of layering you're wearing, and then realize how much cushion you have. Okay? So I'm going to hit the trail here. Now here comes the hard part. Here comes the part I really don't like. None of us will like this. Okay, I'm in my camp fleece. I've got my little down booties. Woohoo! There's my boots ready to go. I got my gaiters ready to go. Food here. I just forced myself to drink water. I melted a bunch of water, and I've been forcing myself to drink it. What else? So now I got to switch. Now it's I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3 layers here. I got to go down to 2. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 layers here. I've got a bunch of layers here. All this has to come off. Layers got to go. I got to freeze until I start generating heat going up the hill. So, yeah, suck time. See you guys. Well, I don't know if scientists say it, but wives always say it. Old wives' tales is that your heads and your hands lose lots of heat. Now, that's been, I believe, disproven by science or something. I don't know. I don't care. The thing is how do you feel? You aren't going to feel good if your heads and hands are cold. Now, we covered the feet pretty well. We should be able to keep you warm. We covered your core temperature, your shell, your layering. We should be able to stay comfortable in every respect. But it's vitally important that you are, this is a real safety thing. Let's say the temperatures get really frigid, it's very clear out at night, and high winds blow, and you're sitting there cooking dinner, and there's a 30-mile-an-hour wind, and it's 3 degrees. Man, if you do not have the polypropylene face protector, you're going to get burned on your skin. It's going to be really painful. And then when you go back in to warm places, you're going to burn. It's like hell. That only happened to you once. Okay, so now my base layer is just my hat. It's a nice North Face hat. And the main thing with this is that in clear conditions, everything snow turns into a reflector oven, and you will fry. Okay, so you got to have your hat, keep your head down. Now your ears will get real bad. This is my favorite one, an old North Face ear protector. Bring your ear protector. 2 degrees of gloves are required. Now you can probably go with liner gloves, but I prefer to have a nice set of fleece gloves for day travel during moderate temperatures. And you ain't going to get by on a frigid night without real gloves. So make sure you bring real thick, super insulated gloves. For the head, I layer up 3 ways. The poly liner will go on the head, and then the old Tank Commander hat goes on top of that, and then I strap this baby on the top. And this gives me plenty of with my ear protector in there, I'm good to go. I just picked up this neck protector, and this may be really beneficial for making the transition between the poly headliner and my insulation, my basic layering insulation. Okay, so you guys got it? 2 pairs of gloves, ear liner, possibly a neck protector, full head protection with a poly liner, and the good old school Tank Commander's hat. My ultimate weapon against sitting in camp cold, against a continental cold air mass during night or day, during me being beat to hell and getting chilly, is the custom down coat. I highly recommend you bring a serious winter down coat. This is the REI budget version of a 750 fill, nicely insulated wall compartmented down coat. This zips into my shell liner or can be worn at any point of the day or night. It's a wonderful thing to have in the sleeping bag. Say you're kicking it at night and you don't have to wear all your clothes, but you may get cold at 3 in the morning when the temperatures really start dropping. So use this as your pillow, and it can become a little owl liner in the middle of the night. So I just wanted to put in the ultimate insulation layer of your custom badass down coat.
Hey guys, see if I can give a little scouting report here. I just spent my 3rd night. I'm right by Round Lake here. Coming in the first day, I was running pretty behind, didn't get to the trailhead until real late, and my stomach was feeling a little uneasy, and so I ended up not eating, and I didn't eat very much breakfast getting started on my first day off the trailhead. Now I camped at the trailhead, which was really cold, brutally cold, and I got caught by the dew. So then the first day hiking, heading in, I didn't seem to have any appetite. I ate very little and ate no lunch, and then at dinner time I tried to eat that Backpacker's Pantry dinner, and that didn't work, and I ate about half of it. Then I didn't eat hardly any breakfast the next day, no lunch and no dinner. Okay, so let's see, 3 nights on the trail now, and I've eaten like a half a dinner and a half a breakfast. My backpack is still hella heavy. I haven't eaten anything, and yesterday my stomach was just killing me all day, trying to climb up this monster hill in the snow, and my stomach was just thrashed. So I figure I'm weakening because I'm not eating real good, and I figure, well, I'm not drinking water either. I'm forcing myself to eat and drink, so I'm not crucial, but it looks like I'm getting a little colder and getting a little weaker. So I'm turning around. I'm in bad condition. I'm not holding a whole lot of strength. I'm cold vulnerable. I feel a little better. I'm hoping I can eat and drink today. Jesus Christ, what a pain in the ass this is. Yeah, that's condition status. So my gear's working well. I'm working my gear well. I'm just not freaking working well, okay? So anticipate these kind of things. Check yourself. Don't just check your gear and make sure your gear's all cool and you can use your gear and stuff. Make sure you're working good, okay? So, here's one hurt now. I'm at like 8,000 feet. God, I don't even know what it got to last night. Probably 7-10 degrees. Oh, yeah, and because I'm cold sensitive, my feet got freaking cold last night. I had to strip off my down coat, pop my down coat, put my legs in the sleeves of my down coat, zip up my down coat around my legs. I got down booties on my freaking feet. But I'm cold sensitive because I'm not eating good and I'm not drinking good, so just anticipate that kind of stuff's going to happen, alright? And, here's where I am. I ain't getting out until shit's warm. Now,